Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday into the Friday few. Hooty hoo. Sorry for putting this stream up so late. I knew this was going to happen at the end of the year. I did like maybe early this year. I did just like a bulk creating of a whole bunch of like stream links for Friday. And something told me when I was doing it, I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. But I bet when I finally run out, I'm going to be broken. Like I'm going to forget that I'm even about to run out. And then when I do run out, I'm not going to want to sit down and make a new set for even the rest of the year. And I called it. I know myself. So why that didn't make me just press on to at least the end of the year, we'll never know. I'm pretty sure it was me like running out of time because I was doing it in between meetings and I got through like October, which is impressive enough to do in about like 15 minutes time, if that. And then I just never went back and did it. And now here I am once again, torn into pieces. Can't deny it, can't pretend. So anyway, um, at some point I will sit down again and make new bulk streams again, but probably just at the end of the year because I'm gonna try to make a new thumbnail for the sprints. Gotta keep y'all guessing. Good morning, Shay. Okay, so we're just gonna start with a 30-minute. And I actually am gonna start reading this book called Single All the Way. If you've been watching my sort of reading reviews on my channel, which I'm starting to get back and consistently, I'm gonna try for a Tuesday, Thursday video upload. So mostly reading updates, still one honesty per month, and then still one writerly conversation every other month. So it'll be something like 8 videos a month. Hey, cool gamer, how are you? So yeah, I that's what I'm trying to get back to. First week down. I already have next week's video recorded, and a couple more videos that I have to do also, but it's not a content thing where like when I was in my slump, I was like, I just don't have anything to say. And now I do have some videos that I need to make. So we're not having the same issues. So now I just need to like keep up with recording, which at least for the month of December, that will be a necessity. We'll see if New Year. Exactly. So anyway, um, we're gonna start with a 30-minute sprint. Thank y'all who are watching live. If you're watching on the replay, hello, hello. Make sure to like that sprint. Not, what am I saying? Make sure to hit that like button. You're reading family lore. Okay. Oh, my coffee is over there. Oh no. I was gonna move from where I am now to the other room and I put my coffee over there in lieu of the move. And then I sat down because I was like, I need to start the sprint. It's already 10 minutes late. And now it's over there and I'm over here and I don't feel good about that. Um, I probably am just gonna stay over here though. I have a lot going on over here. I don't really want to move it to a coffee table and a couch. Feels chaotic. Anyway, I am reading Single All the Way. It's by, oh man, what's her name? I'm definitely, y'all, here's how you know it's real. I'm about to do an ebook read just to read this book. It's by Kate something. I'll find it. But oh, y'all, if you follow me on Instagram, I'll share it to my story. Um, and then you'll see. But like, what's her name? Oh, Watson. Watson. Yes, it's Kate Watson. And when I tell you, she made this beautiful reel that was like, I don't even remember the song, but it was a romance song that was like really popping when it first came out. And it's been now sort of like slowed down and made more moody. And then she did like, it was just probably even just like from a stock video of a guy standing up at a wedding, you know, when they do all the wedding toast and whatnot. And she put like sort of this like these hooks for the book over top that, and it was like from the perspective of the main character. So it was like when you're at your perfect twin sister's wedding and wedding reception, and all the speeches have you as the butt of the joke, and the guy you're fake dating stands up is getting like more and more mad on your account for real, not for fakes, they're fake dating. And then he stands up and goes to the mic and is like, I can see that you're all as obsessed with my girlfriend as I am. And I was like, oh, excuse me. So, we love a protective MMC. So I was pretty hooked from that. It took me a couple of rewatches, which maybe this was part of the strategy. It took me a couple of rewatches of the reel to even read through all that was there, because it was like timed words. And it was kind of a lot of text where I was like, what? But I bet her reel has over 10,000 plays at this point, because every person's having to read it 5 times just to read the whole thing. So yeah, anyway, it was real. When I did get through reading all that it was and seeing what it was, I was hooked. I was like, this is good. Okay. And it was from the author's Instagram account. And I was like, I looked on Audible, I didn't see it. I was so sad. And I looked on Script, didn't see it. So sad. Although there is another book called Single All the Way, but it's not by her. So I was like, no, not you. And then I commented, I was like, is there an audio book? And she was like, not at this time. Imagine my devastation, if you can, for one moment. So, but it is on. Okay, I was like, who's that pulling up behind my car? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is that who I think it is? If you're asking if I'm the nosy neighbor, I am. Not all the time, but it can be pulled out of me. Anyway, so it is on Amazon Kindle, and it is included if you're an Amazon Prime member or Amazon Kindle Plus or whatever the heck. So I could read it for free. So I started last night, then I stopped because I was like, go to sleep. But from the first 3 pages, I really like the protagonist's voice. It's very funny. It's very funny, and it's like an enemies to lovers, but then you find out, first of all, if you know anything about me, I don't like enemies to lovers where it's not really an enemy. If you're going to say enemies to lovers and you ain't got no hate in your heart for this person, I'm still being nosy, and you ain't got no hate in your heart for this person, miss me. Now, I'm not advocating for hate, but if you're saying, oh, we're enemies, and the long and short of it is, or really the short and short of it is, y'all had one interaction and they were less than polite, and now you're like, oh, what a jerk. That person's not your enemy. You just think that they're a jerk. That's fine. But that's not your enemy. You don't lose no sleep about that person. You see them again and you're like, who was that again? Then it clicked. That's the guy from the elevator. That is not your enemy. So when I see enemies to lovers done right, I get excited. So this enemies to lovers is, she don't even really know this man. They're not enemies like, oh, it's my boss who I hate. Like, okay, cool, sure, enemies to lovers. It's a well marinated enmity. It's not that. It's marinated, but she don't even know him. In their parking lot for their hey, literary lady, Summer on the Bluffs. Okay, thanks for joining. Their apartment complex is not too big. The parking lot for their apartment complex is smaller than it should be for a building of that size. So everyone's always fighting for their life for parking. And she has a roommate, and technically her roommate is the one who gets the covered parking, and she has to park on the roof, which is uncovered parking. Mind you, they live in Chicago, the Windy City, and it's like winter, so it's raining, it's snowy, and she's like, I don't want to park on the roof. So, I'm like, as the roommate, I'm like, forget this other dude being your enemy. If you take my covered parking spot in Chicago in the wind and rain, you're gonna have an enemy living with you. But anyway, for some reason, she thinks that she could take this spot today, and oh, no, it's not her part. It's not her, because it's not a sign like that. It's just like numbers. Anyway, moving on, unimportant. She's about to go and take someone else's parking spot, and she's always fighting for one. And it's always this guy in this white Prius who she's fighting with, and he always beats her. That's why he's her enemy, because they're always fighting for parking. He always beats her. I can appreciate the silliness of that. Now, it's life and death because parking is a serious thing. I never cared about parking so much as when I moved into New England and they just don't have enough parking mostly anywhere. And now I take parking very seriously to the point where if there's not enough parking, I'm not going because I'm not going to have high blood pressure over no doggone parking space in some white lines. No. But I appreciate that it's not like, oh, he makes my job miserable or he has power over me. It's parking. Is it serious? Yes, but it's a level 1 serious. I love it. So I'm enjoying it so far. I will probably be reading that during the second sprint. The first sprint, I have some like administrivia to do. Hey Pat, hooty hoo. So I will be reading that in the second sprint. The first sprint, I have to like respond to emails and crap like that. But anyway, we're gonna get into the first sprint. And actually, since people are trickling in, let's do a 45 instead of a 30. Do I want to say that? No, we'll do a 30 because at this rate, we'll start at 11 and then we can do a 45 at 11. Yeah, we'll do a 30. We'll do a 45 to end. All right, Wonder Friends, let's do it. Shay is reading Family Lore. Literary Lady is reading, what is it? Something about Sunday. No, Brunch at the Bluffs. Oh, Summer on the Bluffs. Something about Sunday. Summer on the Bluffs. Hey, Pat, how are you? All right. Hooty hoo indeed. All right, let's start this first sprint. We'll do 30 minutes. And I will be an adult, but eagerly wait for the next sprint when I can actually do what I want to do, which is read single all the way. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Y'all turn them pages. All righty. That was the first sprint. Oh my gosh, I look like I just woke up, and I kind of not just woke up, but I was definitely like 30 seconds ago. I am tired. I was just doing kind of a written interview. Someone, I guess maybe from the school's media team, was asking about the work I do at the writing center, and I was like, "Oh, girl, that's a lot, please." Like, she just sort of emailed. It was kind of a cold email. Like, she just emailed and was like, "I've heard about the work that you've been doing. Um, I would love to highlight that." And I don't know where she's planning on highlighting that. And could you just tell me about your podcast and the series on multilingual, the series for multilingual writers that you've been running on the school's Instagram? And I was like, are you trying to have a meeting where you ask me specific questions and I tell you those things, or do you just want me to just rap about it in this email? Which really wasn't going to go well because I was already like, I don't really know how to start answering that. But what I do know is I'm not in the mood. Like, I'm very grateful. I don't know who told you about it. Thank you to that person. I don't know who that person is, but thank you to that person. Appreciate you when work gets recognized, but I'm also just really busy this season, and it's only gonna ramp up because I'm, defending next semester, campus visits, blah 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 blah, and then doing this work that you're asking about. So, not to mention, that's all just school stuff. Not to mention my writing, like my books, and trying to get better at posting on YouTube. Although that honestly is my lowest concern because YouTube is a low yield, all things considered. Y'all are great, but like YouTube doesn't pay me anything, and I've kind of met the people that I came on here to meet. So like the channel continued to be productive, the subscribers continuing to grow. That's not necessarily a major concern. I would like better engagement percentages, but am I going to break my back to get it? No. If I can make a couple of shifts that do that, I'll make those shifts, but I'm not about to lose sleep over it. Not a substantial amount of sleep anyway, because, Instagram and those sort of things, as far as getting your book out there and meet, like, that's just a different community that I haven't gotten as into as I want to, particularly in the Christian fiction realm. So all of that to say, I have multiple burners going. I didn't really want to just sit down and even think about how to package what I'm doing in those two very specific areas. And so I was like, what are you asking for specifically? And she was like, oh yeah, I can give you some prompting questions if that would help. It would. Because otherwise, I can tell you right now, it was just going to be a paragraph each and not a chunky paragraph, a college paragraph, which is 3 sentences. It was going to be one of them, just on. Well, for the podcast, for the bus sprout. That's what I need to do today. Dang, so much crap for the bus sprout. Buzzsprout hosts my content, and I have already sort of like a paragraph on what the podcast is for, what it does, like what the content is about, in a few sentences. It was gonna be you getting that. So I was like, if that's what you want, I can certainly give you a paragraph about that and a paragraph about the Instagram, which isn't that much to say at this point anyway. So I'm glad that she asked questions because the questions she asked would in no way have been included in that email. So that took literally 27 minutes. Like when I finished writing, it felt like I'd been writing forever. And I was like, dang, I wonder if the timer's up. But it wasn't, it had 3 minutes left. No way I would have done that of my own volition had I not been just like answering her questions. So anyway, that was what took up most of my time. I have not written anything down for my to-dos today. It feels like a very, very chaotic way to Friday. because it's not one of those Fridays where I have spent my week doing a bunch of like ticking off a bunch of checklists that let me know that Friday can be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Like I haven't had checklists all week, and it has been chaotic. I don't know why I made a checklist once this week, checked off everything. So it's not like I haven't done anything, but just not being able to see what I've done and see what needs to come next. I don't know how people live this life after the age of, let's say, 25. After that, it just feels it just feels irresponsible to not write down your obligations for the day. But anyway, we're here, and I somehow have really met most of my obligations, except for that thing I forgot that I need to do. But yeah, anyway, now I'm ready to like do that one more thing, and then I'll read for what will probably end up being about 30 minutes, single all the way, and it feels like a reward that I'll be able to do that after this. Um, anyway, oh, should I make my honesty today? Maybe I may record my honesty later today. I thought I was going to have a thing later that I don't have, so I may use that time to record my honesty because y'all should get one by the end of the year. I'm kind of waiting until a few more things finish cooking so that the honesty can be the as complete of the story as possible. But also like honesties were meant to be incremental anyway about like what's going on now, what I know now, what I hope to know later. Like it doesn't have to be a complete story. Is meant to be a chapter, an essay, an excerpt. So if I'm feeling energetic right now, I'm not. But if I'm feeling energetic a little later today or I take a nap or something, then maybe I'll make my honest tea. Telling you right now, it's gonna be good. But anyway, what did y'all read? We had a few people come in. Pat is reading. Ah, the Heaven and Earth grocery store. How is that? How is that? First of all, what a title. I saw it on Audible, like suggested, and I was like, because I downloaded the Black Candle Women or something like that. And it was like, oh, if you like books like this, try this. And I was like, oh, and I've seen it before. What a name. Is it like magical realism? Because that's a little bit one of the tags I was associated with the Black Candle Woman. And I'm wondering if having, I mean, it sounds like it's magical realism, but is that what it really is? And then Vina came in. Good morning. Good morning. Um, yes, I don't know if Shay answered this, but yes, Literary Lady, like that is a book that centers on family drama, particularly like generations. And the woman in the that book, Family Lawyer, is magical realism. Magical realism slash, I wouldn't really call it speculative, honestly. If I did, it's a quite a light shade of speculative fiction. Quite a light shade. I would just say magical realism. Um, but yeah, it is family drama centering around this um centering around having a living funeral, and then it's just like, well, why is this character wanting to have a living funeral or like a wake party when she's still alive? And it goes through the drama of like, well, who is this sister? Like, why is she so, she's always been sort of like the eccentric one in a family of women that everyone else already thinks is eccentric. So like, who is she? And then it goes into the sisters. It goes into the sisters' children, the sisters' love life. So it very much is a family drama. You bought it. What a cute emoji. I don't know when I'm gonna start it is the thing. But if you're saying you bought it and are not looking to read it starting tomorrow, then yes, realistically speaking, I'm probably not gonna start it this year. Because I just have I cannot I cannot say that I will do that. I have it. It's on Scribd. It's downloaded, so it's ready to go, and I'm ready to go. Will I start it this year? Not likely. So if you're saying that you have it and you're like just game to start it whenever, duly noted. Um, like on Coming to America, the sequel. Y'all don't hurt me, but I actually haven't watched that yet. I've heard mixed reviews, so I'm not rushing to it. And I rarely do rush to watch a movie because I'm not a movie girl. There's something about the time commitment that I just can't get behind. I just can't trust it. Like even something that I do want to watch, like I never got around to watching Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I love Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I've watched those movies multiple times, not recently, but I've watched them multiple times. And even when that movie came out and all the fans were like, oh my gosh, it's like a prequel, blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't do it. Like I wasn't moved to take that final step to go to the theater to push play on Amazon Prime, like nothing. Even now that it's more accessible, I don't have to go to the theater to watch it. And I'm still just like, if Hermione's not in it, quite frankly, I can't be expected to engage. That's my feeling on the situation. So, all that to say, like, it's not personal Coming to America. I did hear mixed reviews, which make it even less likely that I'll watch it, but it's not personal. I am more, as Shay can attest, I am more of a rewatcher than I am a watcher. Like, I will very quickly rewatch anything. I'll rewatch Lord of the Rings annually. I'll rewatch maybe a Fast and Furious movie, perhaps. I'll rewatch Red Notice on Netflix. That movie is hilarious with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. Comedy gold. I will rewatch that. Possibly even annually. I've seen it twice. Although I think that was twice this year. I watched it this year and then I watched it when I went home with my mom and my sister who hadn't seen it yet, and it was still funny. Yeah, I will rewatch something instantly. Watching something totally new, I'm just like, whoa there. I don't know you like that. You're asking for a huge commitment from me. To me, for some reason, it's the same energy I have towards being picked up for a first date. You can't know where I live. I'll meet you there. It's the same keep it at a distance energy where I'm just like, you want me to watch you without having watched you before? Wow. That's aggressive. So it takes a lot for me to do. Also because I'm super indecisive. Oh, you just started it. Okay, cool. Let's get into our last sprint, which is going to be a 45-minute one. It's bubbling up within me to tell y'all about this other book that I'm reading. I'm a hold myself so that we don't get distracted, but not distracted, but I just don't want to go too far over 12 today because the breakfast I had was a banana and a quarter of a protein shake, and now I'm drinking coffee, which is dangerous indeed. This is not the best trifecta of a breakfast without having like something heavy on your stomach, because coffee is a diuretic. Whatever's in your stomach, it will be taking it out of you within an hour. And there's not much there to begin with, so I'm just like, what's wrong with me? This is ridiculous behavior on my part. It's outlandish. But anyway, so I want to end close to 12 so I can make myself a substantive meal, because I'm still over here sipping this coffee like I don't know anything about biology and coffee science. I don't know much, but I do know that. Anyway, I'll just tell you the title of the book and I'll just sprinkle something out. For those of you who have Audible, you might want to listen to this one, not because it's a masterpiece of work, but just because it's crazy town. The book is called Kill Your Husbands. It's a fiction. It's a mystery. I don't know if I would call it a thriller, but it's definitely a mystery. Let me see who the author is. Oh, that's not. What am I looking at right now? Anyway, it's kind of a cute cover. I was recently listening to How to Lose a Guy Before Christmas by AJ Pine, but I'm not going to get into that right now. It is Kill Your Husbands by Jack Heath. I don't read a lot of romance by men. It just doesn't happen. I don't see a lot of romance written by men. So yeah, this is by a man. Wait, hold on. This is not a romance. Kill Your Husbands. There are couples in it, but I would by no means call it a romance at all. If there was a friend who was like, oh, I'm looking for a romance read, this would not be on my list, even though there are 3 couples in it. But as you can tell by the title, Kill Your Husband by Jack Heath, it is these couples that go away together. Most of them have been friends since high school. Friends I use with a light touch. They've known each other since high school and they've been in the same friend group since high school. But sometimes them high school friend groups, they're not well. And you should graduate from them when you graduate from high school, but for one reason or another, you don't. And then that's when the real problems ensue. Because high school kids are one thing. They don't have bills. They don't have super high stakes as long as they ain't killing nobody. But when you're an adult, the stakes are higher. You need to get these toxic people about your life, but whatever. This is kind of what happens if you don't do that. You end up marrying them. They end up becoming your best friends in life, not just in high school. And then when you do life with messy, toxic people, your life becomes messy. Your relationships are toxic. It's you. So the point is, it goes back and forth through time, and this friend group of couples goes up to this cabin. The cabin has spotty reception. Some people love that. They want to do it like a internet detox. Problems ensue when they decide, hey, let's switch partners for the night. Y'all, the way how I was like, I think there is a Black person in this book. The detective on the case, I think, may be biracial. I think. But none of the friends are anything but white, I think. And it's mostly British, I think, and one Australian. As soon as, because then you find out that some of them were like, it wasn't random. One of them had been like unsatisfied with his wife and was already eyeing the other guy, or a guy, one of his friend's wife. So Dominique and Felicia are a couple. Clementine and what is his name? Cole. Clementine and Cole are a couple. They're like the couple. Clementine is the one that sort of keeps the group together. She's super sweet, plans a lot of activities. Cole is her sweetheart husband. They're like that couple that's probably always going to be in love. And who's the other couple? Because they the problem. Isla and what is that man's name? Call him Clayton. But they've had a kid. Clayton basically does not like their kid at all. And so basically he's a demon child. He won't sleep through the night. This boy, 5 years old. He's always so argumentative with me. And then as soon as Isla comes in, he's a perfect angel. He makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing, but he's just bad with me and good with her, blah, blah, blah. All these things where I'm just like, it feels like there's no communication between you and Isla going on. And then Isla wants more kids. And he's like, I'm tapped out with this joker right here. I'm not doing it. So because of that, they haven't had sex in a while. And he's started looking at other people. His eye has landed on Felicity, not Felicia, who is Dominique's wife. He's the rich guy. She's a comedian, but she's, I think, the youngest one in the group. She didn't grow up with any of them, so she's not really privy to the tea. And so Clayton has his eye on her, and he kissed her at a party, and she let it happen because she was hoping that Dominique would get jealous, even though Dominique didn't even know about it and didn't come looking for her or anything. So that was it. She was just playing. But now Clayton, because he's so emotionally starved for intimacy, has started really like crushing on her, thinking that, oh, she's in love with me. We're going to do a thing. Da, 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 da. And she's just like, no, I love my husband. Like, I love that man. No, it's me and my husband till the wheels fall off. You and your wife, whatever foolish, I'm sorry for you, but that has nothing to do with me. So there's a miscommunication between them. Well, really just on his part, because she hasn't really been giving him any green lights except for that kiss, which at this point was like months ago. So anyway, he's like, I want to set something up where I'll be able to sleep with her. So they go up to this mountain on this friend trip, already trying to figure out a way. Him and who else? Him trying to figure out how to sleep with Felicity, and Felicity trying to figure out how to sleep with someone. I forget who. But I don't know, y'all. It's just a really weird. It's a really weird thing because even though Felicity is like, "Oh, I love my husband," then why are you privy to this? Because this was a plan between at least her and Clayton even before they went up there. Um, and the only one who it seems, the only like two who seemed like they had no idea what was going on was Isla, who wants more kids, whose husband is trying to sleep with Felicity, and Dominic, who is like, yeah, I seem like I don't care about anything, but I don't play about my wife. I love this woman, which is good to see because Clementine and Cole, whatever the heck his name is, seem to be the most solid couple, but it's good to know that at least Dominic and Felicity do rock with each other heavily. They're just so unserious that you don't really know until you just see them by themselves and they're like, me for you, you for me. Anyway, they do this swap. And by the end of it, by the end of the night, after they've all had sex with each other, one of them end up dead. I have taken 15 minutes that I said I wasn't going to, well, not 15, 5 to 7, to take the time to tell you something I said I was going to tell you, but that's the setup of the book. Kill your husbands. One of the husbands ends up dead. And by the time the book, and that's just like the premise of the book, that you already know that that's going to happen, more of them end up dead. So they're trapped in this like cabin for 3 days. There's no Wi-Fi. As soon as one of them turns up dead, no one can find the car keys. The batteries in the landline don't work. Their cell phones don't have service. So now you're trapped up here and one of y'all is off in the other, which I'm just like, I'm not happy that's happening by no means. I also don't know what you expected to happen when you pull this sort of shenanigans with people's marriage. I don't get it. I'm not clear. Because the keys wouldn't even have to disappear. I got them. Britt got the keys. She and her husband are in the car. We'll come and get y'all after the third day is complete, but we are not staying here. Absolutely not. So that's the premise of the book. And by the time the book starts, it's multi POV. You get all the couples POVs, which is 6, and then you get the investigators POV and the investigator's girlfriend, which I'm just like, this is an 8 POV book. I'm not pressed. I'm just saying. So by the time we get it from the investigator's POV, you know that multiple people at the cabin have died, and you don't know completely who is still alive. And there's one person who for sure is still alive and another person who is missing. They don't know if that person is alive or dead, is the killer, is on the run from the killer. Like, they just don't know. So when you're starting from the beginning, knowing all of that, and then you go back in time to when, like, you're just getting to know the couples, you're seeing all these things start cooking, you're just like, I wonder who's the killer and who ends up dead and da-da-da-da. I am at least enjoying, I wouldn't call it hate reading, but I'm certainly shade reading, because I'm just like, that don't make no sense to me, playing with people's marriage who are not divorced or even considering divorce. What's the purpose of that? Are you just trying to strike a dynamite on your ring finger, or what? What's the goal here? But anyway, now let's get into this 45-minute sprint that I said I was going to get into 7 full minutes ago. But I am who I am. I don't know what you want from me. I'm going to start reading Single all the way. I cannot wait. I'm on page 3 and I'm already very excited for it. We're going to start this timer with this distinguished doggy gentleman. One sec. Alrighty. Remember to hydrate, especially me over here sipping this coffee. Alrighty. Thank you for that, General Manager Pat. And now we're going to start our second And final sprint, it'll be a 45er with this distinguished gentleman, Benjamin. Alrighty, and 3, 2, 1, y'all turn them pages. Oh goodness. I was over reading on my couch and that dog bark scared me. So if it scared you, my bad. Um, this book is funny. Did I get as far as I wanted to get? No, regretfully, I did not, because that one little thing I needed to do on Buzzsprout took so long, back and forth. Now, what I will say is their customer service is top notch. I love their customer service. They are so fast. If you email them within business hours, they gonna get right back to you. Excuse me. Like it literally took maybe 5 minutes, no more than 10, probably more like 5, from when I put in the help request on their website and they emailed me like, hey, how can I help you? I see you said it. Here's how you do that. Like, and it's back and forth from there. They're super helpful. I love them. So if you're thinking about having a podcast, I suggest Buzzsprout as your hosting platform. Anyway, single all the way. I'm loving it. I only got to 4 minutes of it because the Buzzsprout thing, just even figuring out what all was needed took time. So yeah, now that's 98% done. I had one more follow-up question. The thing is fixed, but I just had a follow-up question about how to prevent this thing from like continuing to happen. That's going back and forth with this, and hopefully they will have an answer that is yes. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. If not, but anyway, I got through like one page of the audiobook, but they've met. We had the meet cute, so it's funny. Yeah, I really do like it. Hopefully by next week I'll have more to say than I like the first 4 pages. But I do really, really like the first 4 pages to the point where I'm literally like, I think I'm going to read an audiobook. And I don't think it'll take me long because the audiobook is 180 pages. That's not a lot. So I am going to attempt to read it and I'll let y'all know how that goes. Oh, thank you, Penumbra. It's good to see you. All right. Thank y'all so much for stopping in. If you have not been watching my reviews of the Winter Night series I've been posting on my channel, definitely watch those. The first one posted on Tuesday, the second one posted yesterday, and there is one more. And then it'll be less of a series review and more of a like, here's a compilation of my thoughts on the books that I'm reading right now. Happy day. And then yeah, it'll be more of a compilation of like, here's what I've read, here's what I think about them, blah 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 blah, than a just one book per video type of vibe. Um, and so next week I hope to post the final book in the series review, and then I hope to maybe on Thursday put out my honesty. It's feasible, but it still depends. Okay. So anyway, if you're not watching, make sure that your notification bell is rung. If it's not, you know what you need to do. Ring that bell. Ring that bell. So you don't miss a single upload. Because they're coming back. And your girl's gonna try to be consistent. So don't leave me hanging. Y'all have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for coming out, even just passing through while you're working. I really appreciate it. And y'all have an amazing weekend. All right. Be safe out there. Bye.